Hey guys, James here, and hey, next death battle. And it's actually something I'm looking forward to, being the last matchup that got confirmed via the Kickstarter, Gru versus Megamind. This was one we didn't reach on the Kickstarter in actuality, but because we almost got 1000% the original stretch, like the original goal for the Kickstarter, the team decided to just give us a Gru versus Megamind, and I think that was pretty awesome of them. Because that was a matchup that was on the Tournament of Champions, but end up losing to Wily versus Tom. I am happy we did get Wily Tom. I think overall, I do like both of them. I think I think I was voting on Wily Tom too, so I was happy with that. And then it returned via the Kickstarter. And people were like, "Oh, we're not gonna fucking get it. It's gonna be like the second time he lost out on Grewmind." But the team decided to give us the episode anyways, and yeah, no, I like that. Cause I do like Rivers Megamind. I think it's a very cool matchup. It was one I was like kind of on the fence of it even happening because the team seemed 50-50 on it from any time they talked about it, and I am glad that they are doing it, and it does seem like they are into the idea, concerned they did put it as like a stretch goal. I mean, like, there's not really much to say about the matchup. It's just an all-around solid idea. It's just a great matchup overall. Connections are very easy to understand. That they release same time. It's the scientific supervillain that turns good because of an outside factor. In the first movie, it's very easy to get. They released like nearly the exact same time. There might be like a maybe a couple weeks or a month gap, but they're very close to each other in that regard. So like it's a matchup that's very easy to understand on why it got so popular to begin with. Also, just people loving Megamind before the Peacock thing happened. Oh god. Yeah, no, I'm very excited for this. This is so far the first one of the year I'm, like, super excited for. I was excited for Ichigo versus Yusuke. It was more so just, I mean, hell yeah, we're getting Bleach back. We're getting Yu Yu Hakusho back. Excuse to go watch Yu Yu Hakusho. It was a matchup I did like, but not anything I was, like, uber crazy for. While Gru vs. Megamind is a matchup I really like, and I'm not uber crazy for it, but I do really like it, and I'm happy it's happening. And that kind of just leaves Aang Traveler as, like, the only other Kickstarter matchup. I was kind of thinking they're going to save Grewmind for last, just because, like, it was the last one on there, and we technically didn't get to it. But, yeah. I'm also kind of surprised it didn't happen, like, during last year, because these two don't really have the most material to go through. I mentioned that on the reaction to Bakugo Rize when this got confirmed, and someone said they have quite a lot to go through. And I mean, like, yeah, they do have more than like you would expect, but comparatively to like every other of the matchups that got revealed through the Kickstarter, they had like the least to go through. Like, just comparatively. I'm surprised we got Hulk vs. Godzilla before we got Grewmind. Because, yeah, one has way more than the other. Like, I think the only ones that might had less was Shigaraki Mahito by proxy of most of that shit was already done by that point. And Kratos vs. Asura, thanks to Asura really only having the one game and some manga. But, yeah, no. I am happy we are finally getting it. And, I guess I don't really have much else to comment on before, going into, like, things I'd want from the fight. I guess animation style, I genuinely have no fucking clue what they're gonna go with for this. In recent years, it is realistic to where they kind of mix all three, but I primarily stick to, like, one. I think with this, it primarily will be, like, a 3D episode, but with a lot of hand-drawn elements. I think Luis will probably be involved on this. Maybe Moro. Probably not. We did just have a Moro episode in Cell versus fucking Metal Sonic. And while Moro has had like pretty small gaps since the indie era, that's kind of smaller than what we've had so far. But Like, for the fight, the setup, I feel like maybe could start with the two, like, driving past each other with, like, the Groomobile and what was it, like, a hover bike? Yeah, hover bike. You know, like, maybe a bit of a slight race at the start, and, you know, you switch into, like, the freeze rate and DMAT, neither of them landing a hit, until, like, going into the full-blown fight using, like, a couple of different options. Unlike the last two times, I actually did go and bother and write some ideas down for, like, the fight. So, like, you have them both crash and bring in their other equipment, and also, like, bring in the minions and the brain bots. And, like, the minions and brain bots, I want that stuff to be more so in the background, going on around them, while getting, like, intertwined with the actual fight. Like, that's something I really want to see happen with this. Like, you have, like, the minions and the brain bots going around. You have a lot of chaotic shit. But the action is mainly focused on Groot and Megamind. Obviously, you know, you have, you bring in, Minion. I'm not calling him old chum. Fuck you. We're dead naming him. We are dead naming this man, god damn it. Oh, God. But, shit. But you know, you have like a minion fighting alongside Megamind, and you can maybe also have some of Gru's minions, you know, like Kevin, Bob, or some of the other noteworthy ones, fight minion as well. You have a minion on minion action, you know. Something I think would be cool is, like, you know, have Gru kind of take a bit of the advantage at first. You know, start to fucking mollywop Megamind, lead into, like, Megamind saying something like, you know what you lack, and it's the presentation line. Have, like, the brain bots fucking swarm around him, pick him up in the air, bombs start dropping down, and Megamind uses, like, his I had something, like, written, I think. Did I actually not write it down? And I know there's, like, a good amount of different weaponry. Oh, no, you have, like the brain bots kind of hold everything off until, Megamind comes down in his battle suit. And you have a bit of a giant thing there. Gru trying to, like, fight up against that. Maybe he uses his, yeah, bring in some of the, use a lot of the wacky shit with these two, because I feel like you kind of have to. Like the fucking cheese ray, the sticky hand gun, rapidly hardening goop grenade, you know, some of the wacky stuff. Or you can also include some normal stuff like the flamethrower, dynamite, missiles. Maybe you could, like, have Gru fucking throw a stink bomb into the, into, like, the head of the suit, and that causes Megamind to fucking crash it. I want, like, a fair amount of comedic shit with this, because, like, yeah, it's fucking Despicable Me and Megamind. You gotta have some comedic shit. Some mild slapstick to it. But, you know, it's a lot of fun little wacky shenanigans like that. You know, maybe you could have a bit of hand-to-hand between the two before... Maybe you could do the hand-to-hand at the start a little bit after they crash before going into the more wacky shit. You know, you can also maybe... or, you know, instead of the stink bomb things from Gru, you can have Gru use the shrink ray, or the fucking, what was it? It was like a, where is it? I'm not finding it. I'm not seeing it now, damn it. Oh, the death ball ray that he uses in the first movie against the aliens, game to win that unicorn. You know, have a bunch of wacky shit. You know, it can also with Megamind. What else does he have? Obviously, like, the D-gun is his main thing with the different abilities it has, but he also has, like, a freeze ray. He has, you know, like, you can also maybe work in, like, the super gloves, like the blower glove, the Tesla glove, or, you know, just raw strength type of glove. He surprisingly doesn't have that much type of shit. He does have a, well, he has some explosives, a machine gun, flamethrower, you know, working a lot of that type of shit. Shit into the fight. This is a lot less organized than how I usually do it. I apologize for that. But, you know, oh yeah, actually, something I actually think would be really cool is to, like, have the minions be, like, a lot more helpful to Gru than the Brainbots are. Both to kind of show how just the minions are way better than the Brainbots, but also how they are a lot more loyal. And you can also maybe do a similar thing with Minion. And obviously you gotta work in the fart gun. I feel like something that would be cool for, like, the build-up is, like, Gru does whip... Well, not really cool, but fun. Is, Gru whips out the fart gun, blasts Megamind, but obviously because it's fucking gas and spreads around, they both do get hit by it. And it does lead into, like, the death. And I don't really want a gruesome death for this. These are, you know, kids' characters. I know Megamind's a lot more the mature type one, but... they are ultimately kids' characters. I don't really want something incredibly gruesome or anything like that. And you got the fucking minions there. I don't think... As much as the internet would love for the minions to be gruesomely murdered, I don't really want, like, anything gruesome here. But for the death, I feel like it will just be, like, a quick draw type thing between the freeze rate and the D-gun. If, you know, if Gru wins, he gets the freeze ray on, off first, freezes Megamind, kicks Megamind over, and just yells, "Knocked over!" Yeah, like what he does in the Win the Unicorn. And then if Megamind wins, shoots Gru with the D-gun, turns into a little tiny blue cube and crushes it under his foot. Or you could maybe work the presentation line into that part for the kill. I don't know, that also would work. And speaking of kills, the debates. A lot of people are saying we finally got a more debatable matchup. We finally got something debatable. And I mean, it is decently debatable, but I also kind of think it has a fairly cut and dry verdict, or at least been clear cut. I mean, comparatively to the last episode, Tabakugo Rize, God, yes, no, this is way more debatable than that episode, or that matchup. But still. But first, let's talk some stats. We'll go over Gru first. A purple minion survived eating a small nuclear bomb, 5 kilotons, small town. Minions survived exploding pieces of dynamite that popped Brat's gum, 14.3 kilotons, town. Vector survived the force of being sent to space from the moon, 115.42 kilotons, large town. And then, like, a Mega Minion's laser going through the Earth and splitting a satellite that got 64.6 megatons, city. And you're probably noticing, but those are a lot of minion feats. Also, do we include the super minions? I think super minions are debatable on if you can include them. I ultimately don't think they really changed the verdict. But I do think you can argue Gru scaling to just the normal minions. And obviously, he's going to have the minions in the fight. The minions and the Brainbots were both shown in the teaser. I think it goes without saying they are going to be included in this. And then as also for speed, let's see, Gru maneuvered his spaceship to move out of the way of the expanding moon. Mach 1,846, massively hypersonic plus. A minion reacted to and moved out of the way of the Mega Minion's laser. Mach 5,597.867, massively hypersonic plus. And then Vector and some minions could react to each other while flying fast enough to reach Mars. 65 C. So, we got some good speed feats here. And, like, again, the Mega Minions are going to include them, but that really doesn't change anything regarding the speed. And, Megamind. It's going to look bleak here, I'm sorry. The Death Ray can cause a devastating explosion. 15.648 kilotons, town level. Survived the force of a ship flying into space. 17.962 kilotons, also town. The Death Ray has an atomized feature, 2.25 megatons, small city. Lady Doppler made a storm covering the city, 7.91 megatons, city. Pretty good. Problem is with the Death Ray shit, that stuff takes a long time to charge. Like, the Death Ray is explicitly stated to take a while to charge. It can only really hit, like, specific areas. It's not that useful of a thing. But what about Lady Doppler? I've seen the Storm thing get debated a bit. I think it's fair to compare to the size of Metropolis. I think the city Megamind takes place in. Would Megamind physically scale to this? I argue probably not. His tech probably can scale to it, but him physically, probably not. You can maybe make the same argument with Gru regarding, like, okay, the tech could probably scale to the minions, but does he? You know. And then as for speed, walked from Michigan to the Grand Canyon in under 50 minutes. Mach 6.04. And I have 2 laser feats I want to mention. But I'm going to bring some issue with some in a moment. Fish Gang, dodge a laser, 1.04C. Minion in a Brainbot, dodge lasers, 4.36C. But there is a small problem with these laser feats in that they don't really follow the rules of lasers. The Fish Gang one, that one just blows up upon contact, so likely not actually a laser. But the Brainbot minion dodging one is a little weird. Because, like, I'm not gonna watch the show for the context. It's from the show, but I'm not doing that. You can't make me. I pity the researcher that had to go through the fucking Doom Syndicate and show for this. I pity them. I'm not paid to do it, though, so I'm not doing that. I watched the Doom Syndicate. That's enough for me, okay? But, for the most part, they seem to follow the rules of lasers. But the clip I was seeing, at the end, there is an explosion, but it's not super clear if the explosion was made from the lasers or not. So, yeah. But regardless, even if you go with that, you'd also, by proxy, have to go with the 65C thing for Gru. No matter what, Gru should be taking speed here. I think AP might be a bit more debatable, at least like the power of their tech. Because, you know, you have the debate of, okay, are the Mega Minions something that we are giving Gru? If yes, then, I mean, yeah, Gru still takes strength as well. If not, Megamind is likely stronger. Assuming we do go with the Lady Doppler thing. Because if not, then yeah, no, Gru is still also taking strength by a pretty large margin. And I know there was a recent Titan vs. Syndrome blog that gave some really good stats for Megamind characters. Issue is, a lot of the numbers there are fucking weird. Like, I don't remember the specifics, but they have, like, the length of a building to be, like, the length of a fucking town or, like, a planet or some shit. A lot of the numbers in there are super fucky, and I have a hard time really believing any of them. I'm not going to say a specific blog because I don't want any harassment to it. I don't want any harassment from it and, like, from their team or, you know, from fans of it or any of that shit. I don't want anyone being a dick to them because just some random fucker saying, like, the numbers in there are a little fucking weird. They're a little suspicious. I don't want none of that, so I'm not saying the name of the blog. But yeah, it seems like no matter what, Gru should be taking stats. And I do have some stuff I want to mention before I go into their equipment, because I think that's going to be a big factor here in the debate. The inclusion of Mega Minions is debatable. Like I said, I already said that, but I also don't think it really is going to change the outcome. The death ray can only target a specific location and takes a while to charge. I also mentioned that. Megamind does not scale to Metro Man. And I think that is a key factor to bring in here, because I don't see it super often, people trying to use that argument. It comes up every now and then, but I don't really see it that often these days. I think it's just very explicit, like, he doesn't scale, especially to the time stop thing, because that's just a key part of the story. Like, it's very explicit, like, Metro Man, I forgot his name for a second. Metro Man always was just physically superior to Megamind, both in just physically, obviously, and also just Megamind's tech. He's always just fucking sweeping the bastard with relative ease. Oh, fuck, excuse me. So I don't really think we can reliably scale the two at all. And again, this is like a unanimously agreed thing for the most part, but I've seen some people try arguing it, and it's worth mentioning it here. Because, like, Megamind was also very much, like, frozen in time when Metro Man did the time thing. And the minions are just better than the brain bots. I did kind of say that earlier. But I want to bring in some of the equipment, because while you can fairly argue, okay, Megamind's tech should be stronger than Gru's, that doesn't really matter. This is entirely a speed thing, as they both have weapons that could just instantly incap the other. And I want to talk about some of them. We'll go over Gru's first. He has the Freeze Ray, just freeze Megamind just completely solid, push him over, crush him. Or he said that was to death. The Shrink Ray will just shrink down Megamind, and of course anything that Megamind tries bringing out. And, you know, kind of make it so Megamind really wouldn't be able to do anything past that. And I want to bring in the argument that, oh, didn't Megamind return, or not Megamind, didn't Gru return the Freeze Ray? Wasn't that said in, like, the second movie? He did not. It does appear in the fourth movie, but also it's never really stated he does, and it's more likely he's referring to returning the moon, not the Shrink Ray. There is the Fart Gun. This thing was able to fucking just take out, just fucking floor El Macho after El Macho was amped with, like, the fucking serum he was making. The same serum that when injected into a minion, the minion survived a fucking, like, what was it, a 2 kiloton explosion? That's more than what Megamind is surviving. There's a minion transformation ray. Record, this is from, like, a ride at Illuminations Park. Will it be included? I don't fucking know. It probably would be included, concerning, like, modern rules, but yeah. And then there is the Lipstick Taser. Same taser, was also able to knock out a amped El Macho. Same area, so yeah. Even if you don't want to scale it, it would just be an outright Duraneg. What about Megamind? Megamind has the D-Gun. The D-Gun has a couple of different features, such as, where are they? The Dehydration, just turning something into a small cube. It has Destroy, Degravity, Decelerate, Debalance, Debillerate. The thing that's just stop, like, removing... Okay, whatever. Deep Freeze, Demoralize, just Demoralize. Decoupage. What the fuck does this thing do? Okay, but like mainly the the Dehydrate and the Destroy I think are like really relevant here. But if Megamind got a shot there, it would just instantly take out Gru. He has his own Freeze Ray. He uses a bit in the comics. There's a Knockout Spray, and then a Shrink Bomb. There is one less insta-win, but I also want to point out how Gru's are just... Some of these Gru also has, but better. You know, like the Shrink Bomb. Gru also has a Shrink Ray, which obviously would have way better effect, and you could have it focused on more of a specific area. The Freeze Ray, relatively similar, but Megamind isn't really as experienced with it, as he only uses it like maybe once or twice in the comics. Knockout Spray, Gru kind of also has that, and with a bit more variety, you know, with the Lipstick Taser, the Fart Gun. There, I think he also did have a like some knockout gas in the thing as one of his things. I don't fucking know. He has a lot. He does have a fair amount of shit here to be working with. So not only does Gru Kinds have more, but he has just generally the same stuff, but better. And I also do want to mention that this is going to be mainly speed-based. They both have weapons that could just instantly end the other. So who is going to get off first? You notice the gap in speed for Gru is fucking massive, right? Like, no matter what ends you go with, if you go with the Mach or the C ends, Gru is always holding a very significant advantage in speed. And it's also just more in character for Gru to go for one of these. Like, he's used the freeze ray for just minor inconveniences, comparatively to Gru, or Megamind, who doesn't really go for, like, the D-gun right away in a fight. And, you know, you got the movie in the show of the, use the dehydration gun! You know, you got that, which is going to be referenced in the episode in some way. So, yeah. I don't really see much of a reliable way for Megamind to win. Not saying he can't win, obviously. I've already was saying, like, he has win cons. He has the DMAC gun, or the D gun. He has some weapons that can instantly end the fight. Problem is, he just isn't fast enough for it. That's the main thing. He isn't fast enough. He's not as likely to instantly go for this comparatively to Gru, instantly going for his. And just not to mention, just stats are typically going to be in Gru's favor. And I guess another thing I want to bring up, the minions in general, just how many does Gru even have? Because in Despicable Me 4, most of the minions are with, like, the fucking, I forget what it's called. This thing was Sheep Ass, that guy. Most of the minions are there, including the super minions, but I also think this kind of comes back to just, it probably doesn't matter. And also the minions are very loyal to Gru. It has been stated before that the minions should just go to whoever's the most evil, but we've seen throughout the movies that they always do tend to go back to Gru. And I know, like, in Despicable Me 3, a lot of them do go with Drew, but, like, that's also Gru's brother. They do hold very deep respect for Gru. They do follow him, even when he stopped being a villain. So I don't see, like, why a lot of the minions just wouldn't go back to Gru. The Mega Minions, you can make the debate for that. You can make the debate on, okay, do we even give them the Gru? But I think for the most part, the normal minions, a lot of them would just go to Gru for a helping hand. And then you kind of get that whole debate on these minions versus both the Brainbots and Minion, where, yeah, Gru's kind of just takes the edge there. So to kind of recap, Megamind's tech could be stronger depending on which end you use, and Megamind does have means of instantly winning the fight. He also is probably just generally smarter. I know the Peacock one kind of nerfed his intelligence, but looking at his best, he probably is just generally smarter. However, Gru just takes speed, no matter what end you use there, has more ways to end the fight, and is in more character to just use them right away. And also just, he just has a way bigger arsenal, with a bit more variety and uniqueness to it. Because, like, there's a whole bunch of wacky-ass shit. There's also the Zodiac Stone. Don't know if you'd include it, but I mean, yeah. The fucking turning Megamind into a minion. That's fucking wild. But yeah, I think just overall, Gru is just a safer bet in my opinion. I think Gru just should more often not just beat Megamind. So my bet will be on Gru. And for the first time this season, this year, I am also rooting for the person I'm betting on. I know I was originally rooting Ichigo, but I changed that to Yusuke. I am also rooting for Gru, because I do like both of these two. I really like them both. I think the first Megamind movie is spectacular. The same was like the first Despicable Me movie. I rewatched that and the second one, and I really like them both. I am planning on rewatching the first Megamind movie. Not the Peacock one. I'm not touching that one again, but I'll rewatch the first one. I really like them both, but, like, ultimately, I like Gru more, and I know there's gonna be at least some fucker that says, oh, you're betting Gru because you like him more. I'm always concerned about that whenever I do, like, my roots and bets, even though I don't think it's really happened, question mark. Outside, like, one fucker a while ago, maybe. But I am rooting for Gru. I like the first two Despicable Me movie, well, the first one at least, more than the first Megamind movie, despite the first Megamind movie being probably the better film. I also just like Gru more as a character than Megamind. Also, the worst of Despicable Me is better than the worst of fucking Megamind now. God damn it, DreamWorks, why'd you fuck up with that sequel? Oh, God in heaven. But, yeah, I don't really know if I got more to it than that. I'm rooting and betting for Gru here. I am very excited to see the episode. No idea what can be next. The only other matchup we know is Aang Traveler. And that might be in the middle of the year. I don't know if it could be next. Like, it could be after Megamind for all we fucking know. But, yeah. I'm also curious if they're gonna get to voice him. I'm very curious that. I'm also curious for the score. I've seen some people say, it'll be awesome if they got, like, Omega Swat, or Mega Sparks and Swats. And, I don't know if they will, but fuck, that would be really funny if they did. I will agree, that is a really funny outcome, if we get, like, a fucking rap-like track with this one. And I mean, it can work, because, like, the first, Despicable Me song. But yeah, no, I'm very much looking forward to it. I do kind of, I'm not super concerned. Well, I'm slightly concerned that they might go with, Minions are awful and stupid, am I right? With the writing, but, I'm hoping they won't. I'm like 90% confident they're not gonna go that route, and they're gonna take this seriously, not some just shitty fucking, fuck the Minions type thing. I think that's really my only concern going in. But, yeah, I don't think I got much more past that. I'm looking forward to this episode. This might be the first fun waiting period. I might go and, I was thinking not watching Despicable Me 3. Or the Minions movies. Again, there's another Minions movie coming up, too. I went to see Mario Galaxy, and, like, the new Minions movie trailer played, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that's coming. I remember seeing it, like, a bit ago, and I completely blanked on it. But that's funny timing. It's not gonna change anything, but yeah, no. I hope you all did enjoy. I'm looking forward to this, and, yeah. Peace!